Hello, I'm Jessica Amir for the Finance News Network at the Interprac Financial Planning PD Day with Magellan Financial Group Key Account Manager, Allan Evans. Allan, welcome to the network.
Thanks for the opportunity, Jessica.
So, Magellan Financial Group, you've been through a lot in the last 13 years. You're now a top 100 ASX listed company, but just walk us through what's been happening.
Certainly the size of the business has changed quite dramatically in that period of time. I mean, I've been with the company for 10 years and when I started with the business, there was 24 people in the company in its entirety, 10 people in our investment team, and our funds under management was less than $700 million. If you fast forward to where we are now, there are 128 people in the company. There are also 30 members of the investment team, and our funds under management is just over $76 billion. So quite a lot has changed in terms of the growth of the business, but what hasn't changed is our process and discipline behind what we do, and that is very consistent from when Hamish Douglas and Chris Mackay founded our business, and we haven't deviated from the course there at all.
Now to your offering, just walk us through your investment process.
The first part of the process is undertaking broad and detailed macroeconomic research, so looking at things like interest rates, inflation, unemployment, GDP, etc. And that really, we try to identify at that level event risk, possible event risk. The second part of the process is very detailed bottom-up stock research. And we're looking at sectors that will outperform the broader macro, and we're also looking at identifying the highest quality stocks within those sectors. The third part of the process is about portfolio construction and how you construct your portfolio to deliver on the dual objectives that we have, and that is delivering consistent risk-adjusted returns through the cycle whilst trying to minimise the risk of a client suffering a permanent capital loss.
Now, advisors and investors can access your market-leading strategies in two ways. You've got global funds and infrastructure funds. Just walk us through your offerings.
You can access those strategies in a couple of different ways. One is in an unlisted space, so we have the global fund and the global listed infrastructure in unlisted, so a unitised product via a PDS, an application form. We also have the Magellan High Conviction Fund as well in an unlisted format, and that is an 8 to 12 stock concentrated portfolio. And there's also our newly launched in June last year Early Australian Equity Fund that's also available under that structure. The other way you can access the strategy is via the ASX. We have 3 active exchange traded funds, 2 global, the Magellan Global Fund and the Magellan Hedge version of that, and also the Magellan listed infrastructure, which also hedge. We also have a listed investment trust, the Magellan Global Trust, which again you can access via the ASX.
And moving to the highly coveted Magellan Global Fund, which has got the highest rating from Morningstar, just walk us through that and its objectives.
The 2 main objectives we have in that fund are first of all to minimise the risks of a client suffering a permanent capital loss. So we have a very, very strong view at Magellan that clients win when they don't lose. So protecting capital, particularly in volatile markets, is a key focus and objective of us. The second objective that we have is an absolute return objective. It's not a guarantee, it is an objective of delivering consistent risk-adjusted returns through the investment cycle. And to that end, we aim to deliver 9% net of fees through the investment cycle. And to date, thankfully, we've over every time period since inception of the fund, 1st of July 2007, we've been able to deliver on both of those objectives.
And can you tell me a little bit more about the portfolio?
The portfolio is split into 2 main buckets in terms of the equity exposure in the portfolio, and that consists of a defensive bucket and also an offensive bucket. So the defensive bucket gives you the lead in the keel in the portfolio, particularly if you have volatile markets. They're very defensively paced businesses. So you think of businesses like Starbucks, think of businesses like McDonald's, think of businesses like Yum Branch, which is KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut worldwide. So again, very consumer focused businesses that are very defensive in nature. The second sleeve of the portfolio has businesses like Facebook, Alphabet, Google, Apple, Microsoft, Visa card, MasterCard, etc. And they're your more growth engines of the portfolio. We also use cash in the portfolio to provide some additional defence in the portfolio if you get volatility in markets. So currently the cash levels of the portfolio are around 16%.
And is there anything that you wanted to add just lastly before we let you go?
In terms of the portfolio and where it's set, we're not bearish, but we are very cautious in terms of how we put together our portfolio. So it's very defensively structured with elevated cash levels. If we do get market volatility, you do have some protection on the downside, and also you have dry powder in the form of cash that you can deploy to take advantage of that volatility if need be.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for your time, Allan Evans from Magellan Financial Group.
You're welcome.